So the fifth part I'm talking is about tax on investment income. Here are the interesting part that you get some exempted income if you put your money here in Indonesia. Here are the places or the situation where you may get exemption. Dividend income is definitely tax exempted, right? Either is because of the PMA company that you have, you take dividends out from it, or if you have an existing company in your home country or in the other part of the country where it distribute dividends, the dividends can be tax exempted, but then I'll be talking about what are the terms and conditions to satisfy the such exemption. The other part is to talk about that some interest coming from investing in sovereign bond of Indonesia, it probably will be taxed. Mostly, I will tell you that they will be tax exempted. Yeah, severally, those bonds coming from like ORI or certain sovereign bond coming up from Indonesian government, they most likely will be tax exempted. You must check with your bond issuer or your investment brokerage to check whether those interests are tax exempted. Also, that in general in the case, mutual funds issued in Indonesia and invested in Indonesia market, when you buy it, you get a capital gain. The capital gain will be tax exempted, right? The other interesting part that if you distribute your wealth to your heirs, your children's, while you are here in Indonesia, the inheritance will be tax exempted for sure, right? The sixth part that I'm be talking about, especially for those of you who are coming to Indonesia to retire. Remember that you come to Indonesia to retire because you can do it so. Because Indonesia can help you issue retiring visa or retiring permit, right? But subject to certain rules that you don't you can't work, you cannot work here, and so there are certain rules that you must hire a maid in your house, and you must have a guaranteed by buying a house or renting a house in Indonesia. All the details you must check on with your immigration agent about it. So I'll be talking about the pension part and whether it's taxable or not. It varies, as I said before, it varies from country to country. For example, Australia retiree, if you come to Indonesia to retire in Bali or in Jakarta or any other part of the world, you may need to pay tax in Indonesia. The Australian tax office may impose up to 50% of tax at source. They probably will do it because it's based on tax treaty between Indonesia and Australia. It looks from the Japan tax treaty that Japan retiree may enjoy tax exemption. Yeah, it's good news for those the Japanese who have a public pension distributed to them. And the Swedish retiree may also need to pay tax in Indonesia because when I check the tax treaty between Swedish and Indonesia, probably they are a bit silent that or allow Indonesia to also impose tax on the pension income, right? Last, about personal tax rate. If you're thinking about the tax rate in Indonesia, your first 54K rupiah that you earn in a year will be exempted. That's not very much, but that gives you some comfort for a very, very basic level of your income just to support you with some probably your consumptions. But starting from there up to 60K of the Indonesian rupiah, it will be subject to 5%. Next, progressively will be subject to higher of 15% up to the thickness of 190 million. And the next level, the fourth level, if you go higher your income up to another 250 millions a year, it will be subject to 25%. And lastly, if you have an income, it's not last one, this is the fourth layer of tax will be 30% for 4.5 billions of income in annual. I mean, what I'm saying 4.5 is 4.5 billions of Indonesian rupiah of your annual income. So total of that, this 5 layer will mix that you have your accumulated annual income by 5 millions altogether. And if you make an income above that numbers, the rest is subject to 35%. So I'm going to expose to you and give you advice about this personal tax level. It looks a bit higher on the high side, but those are, I'm sure that those are available or subject to those rates only for the employment cases, or those who want to expose themselves with the professional income. They are coming here to do their professional jobs and get the income, and those are the rates available. And if your income are not as high as that, probably at the end of the day you will end up paying tax on some sort of like between 5 to 15%. And investment income are not subject to this level of income, but because mostly investment income will be subject to final tax coming from 0.5% to 15%. But those investment income, I would specifically tell you that they are subject to, for the investment income of the financial instruments that you have here in Indonesia. If your investment income come from the overseas, there will be a different story. Alright, they will be subject to this normal rate. And lastly, if you have a business or professional income, I may also suggest you to take forms of the PMA, set up a PMA on PMA company where you be exposed to tax only at the business level, and it surely will be subject to lower level of taxation with some of very good deductions, but certainly you need to take diligence of making your books records available for the tax office to check any time when they want to, right? Remember, so all those issues are important, among the most important issues that you need to know when you want to come to Indonesia to stay and be exposed to Indonesian tax. And for those of you who are still curious or have questions for me, please state here at the down below of the make a comments there. You think this is what your friends or your colleagues supposed to know or supposed to read? Please share to your friends. Alright, I'll be talking to you for another interesting subject, or you also may suggest what subjects you find interesting, and I'll be talking to you soon after that. Bye for now and stay success.